this entire review in ASMR, it would certainly fit the tone. Then again, I don't know if I can fully commit to that. Yeah, nah, I can't do this. I'm going back to my normal voice. I can't. But I did try for 5 seconds. So, A Quiet Place Day One is the prequel film into the Quiet Place franchise. The film is directed by Michael Sarnowski, and it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff, and Djimon Hounsou. When New York City comes under attack from an alien invasion, a woman and other survivors try to find a way to safety. I absolutely love the A Quiet Place films. The very first time I saw the first A Quiet Place, I was like genuinely blown away. This movie came out when I was like, what? An 18-year-old freshman in college, and the sequel came out when I was a senior in college. I loved both of them way back when, and I still love both of them to this day. So when I found out that A Quiet Place Part 3 was changed to A Quiet Place Day 1, and this was going to be a prequel film, I was excited, but I was also cautiously optimistic because a whole new cast, new director, and I feared that this movie was not going to be able to capture the magic, or at the very least, the tone and the atmosphere from the first two films. And I'm here to confirm that that same level of fear, anxiety, and tension is very, very present in this movie. Even though this environment is much more bigger and much more crowded, the movie still manages to bring in that same fear-mongering atmosphere. In fact, I would argue this movie is way more sinister compared to the first two. Yes, this movie is less claustrophobic compared to the first two, but I gotta admit, like, there is some dark shit that happens here. I mean, it's day one of the alien invasion, you know, they're flying in from the sky, so yeah, that's going to cause a huge panic, especially in such a crowded city. Bigger location plus more people equals more deaths. The way this city gets messed up, you would have thought the Avengers just had a battle. The point is, I am glad this movie was able to bring in the same level of tone and atmosphere, and with that being said, this movie has some pretty damn good tension. The act of trying to be quiet while surviving day one of an alien invasion, yeah, pure nightmare fuel. During all of the quiet scenes, even I was making sure I made no noise because I felt like if I made even one wrong move or one little cough, everyone in that theater would be dead. And I love when a movie can make me feel the same level of tension as its characters. Lupita Nyong'o was marvelous as the main lead. Out of all of the characters, she was the biggest standout, and honestly, I cared for her character the most. And with her character, she has a very tragic story attached to her. I won't get into spoilers, but it really makes you go. She was brave, she was witty, she was intelligent, and every time there will be a scene where she's practically running away from the Death Angels, complete adrenaline rush. All of the other performances were great as well. Joseph Quinn was great, but I feel like his character didn't really stand out compared to Lupita's character. Overall, great performances, and I have no complaints there. And you know what's crazy? Even though I enjoyed this movie, I feel like this movie didn't really capture me as well as the first two films did. I'm not really sure why exactly, but I do have one complaint that I feel like arguably is a factor to that. This movie had way too many jump scares. I don't know if I'm being nitpicky, but I feel like the first two films didn't have to rely on a series of jump scares to be entertaining. The first two films, while there were jump scares, I felt like they relied more on the tension rather than the jump scares themselves. And again, while there is tension in this movie, I feel like there were moments where there were jump scares implemented that I felt like it didn't need to be there. Also, Djimon Hounsou, why exactly was he in this movie? The man did nothing. We see him appear within the first 5 minutes of the film, and then we don't see him again until the very, very end, which I thought was a bit of a weird choice because given how important his role is in A Quiet Place Part 2, what purpose did he serve in day one? And here's the thing, you know he's not gonna die because he's in Part 2. At first I thought, okay, this is how he meets the new characters, and he's gonna take the new characters and bring them over to what ends up being the sanctuary in A Quiet Place Part 2. And by sanctuary, I mean the island. But no, he appears in the first 5 minutes, dips off, and then randomly comes back. And look, I love the actor. I love Djimon Hounsou. He's a phenomenal actor. In fact, I would argue he is criminally underrated. But I felt like there was no reason to have his character return. Like, He literally did nothing in this movie. He did have one cool moment in the beginning, but that's really it. But in the end, A Quiet Place Day One, I dug it. It's well directed, it's intense, and Lupita is incredible. What more do you need? Well, maybe a couple of other things, but you know what? That ain't the point. Go see A Quiet Place Day One. So, plugging A Quiet Place Day One into the rank system, I am placing this one into the pass zone. But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for A Quiet Place Day One. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about A Quiet Place Day One. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Which one is your favorite in the franchise? How long would you last in this universe? Whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you all in the next one.